guys. I know all of you, so normally I would be a little nervous, but I'm not because I know all of you guys. So I love you guys too. Thank you so much for coming to celebrate Aaron. I'm going to read a little bit about him. If I stumble, I'm sorry. Just be patient, and I may just wing this. So, anyways, here we go. Aaron Michael Johnson. He was born on October 30th, 1984 in Fountain Valley, California, and passed away in Riverside, California, March 29, 2020. He spent his first 4 years of his life living in Orange County, soon moved to Riverside with his family and went to elementary school and junior high. Moving to Marietta, California, he graduated from high school at Marietta Valley High School. Here he made very many long-time friends. Through the years, he would move back and forth from Orange County to Riverside, and staying between his two homes he loved dear to his heart. He did love Riverside so much that he put the rain cross tattoo on his face. He was quite proud of that tattoo on his face. We all questioned it, but he was so proud of where he lived and where he came from. Aaron was a warrior for Christ. He was baptized as a baby in the Catholic Church, but as he grew, so did his love for Christ. He was baptized again at the age of 15, renewing his faith in Christ and becoming born again. He would arrange to have an amazing Bible study at our home in Marietta, California. There were times where we would have over 50 young Christians in our home. This was just one of the testimonies to his love for Christ. Aaron's prized possessions were his family, his Bible, and his bike. If you look on the table and see his Bible, you'll understand a little bit about Aaron and how he felt about the Lord. That Bible is not a Bible that just sat there. It was read daily. He always would offer a smile and help to whoever needed it. And he loved and was loved by so many. His family and friends will remember him for his humor and his heart full of love. He was the kind of person that would give his pants to a homeless man, food to the hungry. He would even offer to help you move your furniture if needed. And I'll say that because I would come home and he'd always move my furniture in the place that he thought he wanted to put it. I never changed it back, I just left it. He would even go outside and see that somebody needed help, like the lady across the street, the old lady who needed her car moved, and he just offered to help her. He would always be there to help with whatever was needed. Nothing was too big or too small. Aaron was a devoted and loving son to his mother Janine and his father Mel. He developed very close, loving relationships with both of his parents. Aaron helped raise his niece and nephews, Leah, Nixon, Grayson. He was an ever so present brother and loving his sister, Ashley, always there. Sometimes even if she was like, why are you here so long? But she loved him dearly. He became the surrogate father for his little sister, Zoe, guiding her, always there for her, taking her on field trips to the Sleep Members store and getting free pillows. He was trying to keep her busy. Brother Ryan, who was his best friend throughout his entire life. As children, those two were inseparable. As they grew up, they relied on each other for support and always had each other's back through thick and thin. They loved each other. I think the worst fight they ever had was over a burrito. Yes, it was a good one. He loved his little brother Joshua so very much. When he was little, he would pick him up and hold him and carry him around. I have a vision of him walking down some stairs when we went to Havasu to go on down the Colorado River. And he held on to that little baby so tight. And he loved Josh more than I think Josh ever knew. He loved his brothers, his stepbrothers, Michael, so very much, who became such a part of his life. He would see Michael every day. Mark, who passed away, he still kept close in his heart. And of course, he loved Jonathan, with whom he spent and had very special, close relationships with all of his siblings. Uncle Aaron was loved by his nieces and nephews, Dryden, Matty, Aubrey, Mikey, Jules. The love of his life for the past 7 years was his beautiful daughter, Shiloh. Shiloh was the shining star in his heart. He loved her so much, and she loved him back. When he would come to our house, when she would come home over to our house, they would lay in bed at night, he would read the Bible to her. Or they would go on these long walks, because he didn't have her car, so he kept her busy by taking her on walks. And they would find all kinds of cool things. But those two loved each other. It was an amazing love that they had. Aaron took his son Chance under his wing and taught him how to ride a bike and gave him his love. He even put Chance's bike on the roof once. Do you remember that? Aaron took it. Sorry. Aaron also loved the mother of his children, Leah. They were married October 27th, 2012. He never stopped loving her. She was always on his mind. He would tell me all the time how much he loved her. Never, ever, ever forgot about her.
Never, ever.
Never.
Never.
Never. Always talking about her.
How can I get her back?
That was his.
I love her. I love her so much.
That was his love. Aaron was always a very kind child. He was a bit shy, but soon he found one thing that opened his spirit: his passion for riding bikes. Aaron started racing BMX when he was only 5 years old. This was more than just a hobby. It became a career. It became the passion of his life. Through his riding, he touched so many lives. He worked his way up from amateur to AA pro by the time he was 16. He would obtain many sponsors and ride on several amazing BMX teams. He had so many that there's too many for me to name right now. In 2008, he set out to be a contender for the U.S. Olympic team. But to his disappointment, Aaron fractured his neck and was unable to race. He was building a track and tested the track and broke his neck. This was a dream that he unfortunately could not have. But he never stopped. I have to turn the page, sorry. But still, he did not stop. He continued training and training and training. Not only did he race, he was also an amazing jumper. He loved to jump his bike. That was one of his most favorite things to do, and one of the things that scared me the most. People used to say to me, "Your son is doing things that will put him in the ER and you're an ER nurse. How can you let this happen?" And I said, "I can't keep him in a bubble." He would eventually travel and compete on the Dew Tour and many other things. The amount of racing and jumping contests that he was in was far too many for me to name. In his racing career, he would travel the world. BMX took him to so many countries. He went to Paris, Spain, Korea, Germany, South America, Fiji, Japan, England, Scotland, Canada, and Mexico, and of course, all over the United States. He traveled with a Christian group of pro BMXers and skaters and went to several countries to build skate parks. While he was there, they would witness the Lord to the kids coming to the park. Several times when I would go to the airport to pick him up, he would come off the airplane wearing a tank top, shorts, and flip-flops, and a shirt that somebody had given to him because he had given away all of his possessions. He gave away his bike, his helmet, and his clothes. Because he had given away all his possessions, he was not a person who held his possessions here on earth. His possessions was in heaven. He was here to serve his family, to serve the Lord. He was an amazing man, and if any of you knew him, and you all did, you knew the kind of wonderful person he was. As you can see, he was a very, very simple man. When he died, the only thing that he had left was a watch, a belt. He had given away his glass bike and his Bible and the clothes that he did have. So I just want to thank you all for coming here today to help celebrate this wonderful soul that we'll all miss. And thanks for letting me talk. I'm going to give this to the next person.
Love you. Love you, Mommy.
Thank you, Janine. Great words of a mother to represent her son. This time I'd like to call Aaron's father, Mel, up to come and say a few words as well. Mel? Oh, you're fine. Take your time.
Oh no, you got caught in a bear trap. You got caught in a bear trap.
All right. Hi, everybody. And of course, I think the message here is to thank everybody for some unbelievable support, love. And as you know, my name's Mel. Aaron called me Mel. I think he was about 10 years old.
Melvinator.
Then he called me Pops. Nothing like, hey Pops, how's it going? So, if you don't mind, let me say a few words while you hopefully get through this. I won't be as eloquent, probably as his mom. Something about a mother's love you can't replace. I remember the day Aaron was born, this day before Halloween. Should have been an omen. However, as a child, Aaron was, pretty easy. Easygoing, outgoing, always had a natural, happy-go-lucky disposition. Of course, that good nature endeared him to everyone. Aaron was definitely meant to bring a lot of love into this world. And of course, I feel like the short time we were blessed with his presence, he certainly did bring a lot of love every chance he could. And he brought it with, compassion and a genuine love. There was no faking it with Aaron at all, ever. Of course, Aaron grew up with a passion for adventure, to say the least. Passion for thrill seeking. He was fearless, absolutely fearless. A real fighter. If you want to say a real badass, okay. Aaron, of course, endured a lot of injuries. Some of his injuries were really serious. Anyone else would have given up. Said, nope, there's other ways to do this. Not Aaron. Cut off the cast and let's go. There was no stopping him. He'd rather feel pain than nothing at all. So, Don't be mistaken. Aaron was also the most kind-hearted, sensitive, loving person in this world. He would stop in the middle of whatever you're doing. If he saw somebody hungry, he would feed them. He would pray with a perfect stranger. They were on the street or just hug someone who looked sad or lost, he'd give them some guiding light. Always able to, lend a helping hand. That was Aaron. If it needed fixing, it needed moving, he was in. Yeah, sometimes, a little more help than you needed, but somehow it always worked out. Okay. I mean, it didn't matter. It was building a house, okay, in, where was it, Virginia? He'd jump on a plane and go with you. Okay, let's go. Build the track all the time. There's tracks all over Huntington Beach, Riverside. Got his name on it. But Aaron would somehow get it done. God bless Aaron with so many talents and skills. It's hard to imagine. Aaron was a doer, second to no one. And he could talk your ears off too. Boy, did he have stories. He always had lots of stories and experiences. And rightfully so. He'd been there. You had to listen. You better listen. You know what I mean. But one thing about Aaron was his off the hook, fearless and totally insane sense of humor. There was nothing off limits. And to know Aaron, it was special. And to be his father, it's an honor. My goodness, the memories? Oh, I think his mom did so well with some of the memories. I have to, I don't think I could have done that good, but it didn't matter from his days playing soccer with his older brother, playing dress up with his little sister. The pink tutu was over the top, by the way. Watching out for his younger brother. You see, Aaron was always a guardian angel. Everyone, in fact, was family to Aaron. You dare not cross that family. I remember his first BMX race, his first trophy. I remember his first dirt bike, his first motocross race at Star West. As a beginner doing kickouts over the big tabletop. And while everyone protested, he loved to ride BMX most of all. Well, I remember the countless hours of Coal Canyon. After hours. God, remember Paul? Oh my God. Paul would cook burgers and the beers would flow and the kids would ride. Some of the greatest names in BMX were there. And they were all family. Sleep in the tower, spend the night during the earthquake, 7.4 land earthquake. There's so many memories. And any of you, I'm sure and I know all of you here know Aaron. You have memories. You can't forget. There's no way. All right? So, but there was Orange BMX, Whittier Narrows, Temecula, and so many more. His first sponsor was Jammer. Oh my God. At Coal Canyon. Fast Eddie. Wow. So, I remember the places we traveled as a family. Going on family vacation, BMX races, exploring the great outdoors. Aaron was always up for it. It was a lot of fun. Then of course as Aaron grew up, he went on to travel the world. And he also shared his love of God with people of all walks of life. He didn't care. Well, he did care, but he was always willing to share. And of course, everyone, Aaron impacted everyone. He had an infectious smile, unbelievable personality. He had a real genuine personality that's rare and hard to find. What's the one thing I always admired about Aaron? Hang with me here. He never made anyone feel bad or guilty or obligated in any way. So while some would have thought Aaron to be easily distracted, the truth was Aaron didn't want to miss anything in life or that life had to offer. He was good to go. So Aaron didn't get cheated in life. We can say that. The world may have gotten cheated by not having Aaron around a little longer ago. He didn't get cheated. He lived more life in his 35 years than most people, maybe 10 people, would in 100 years. So I just pray he holds a spot for us in heaven. So, in light of how Aaron was dearly loved by his family, and that includes everyone here, and I mean that sincerely, it's difficult to understand, why his life had to end so soon. It's nearly inconceivable that God would allow, such a gift, a young man, to suffer like that and to leave us. And I admit I was angry. I was angry at the world. I was angry at God. But then I chose to look at it another way. Because with Aaron, you kind of have to. People are like Aaron are extraordinary. Far and few between. But, like those so gifted and being so sensitive, Aaron was an incredibly sensitive person. But they pay a special price for that sensitivity and their insight to life. Obviously my life will never be the same. So when the time came, God scooped him up to heaven, and all of his suffering was gone because he did endure a lot. And I know he's in a better place now. And I know he waits patiently for the day when all of us, his family, join him. And I know Aaron, he'd want us to remember the happy times. That's Aaron. So let the sad memories fade. Tonight we celebrate his life, celebrate our memories. And boy, I know if you're here, you have them. And everybody has memories of Aaron. It's only memories of Aaron and family can have. So at this moment, I'd like to offer a moment of silence. And of course, if any of you would like to say something, remembrance of Aaron, you're welcome to. We only have till 9 o'clock. Thank you so much for being here. It's an honor to be part of this family. Thank you. Brad?
Thank you, Mel. Love to hear the heart of a mom and a dad. We heard from his parents, now we're going to hear from some of his friends. I'm going to invite his good friend Andre to come up and say a few words.
For most of you who don't know me, I'm Steve Laws. I was a neighbor to the Johnson family, and I think my first BMX jump was built with Aaron. and I used to love buying his old frames when he would switch sponsors. I think I bought a hot frame, which I rode for many years. And I remember one time Janine tagged me along to Coal Canyon Raceway, and she asked me if I wanted to ride his bike around the track. It was just practice. I got to put on his gear and ride his bike. And for that minute and a half around that track, man, I was Aaron Johnson. And it really meant a lot to me. I was probably the last one to finish the race, but no one could tell because I was wearing the helmet. But I used to always use his number plates a lot. He would give them to me. And it was the best. I remember one time we would build a lot of jumps, around the neighborhood. I'm a ginger, so I need some shade, so I'd always build a shade shack for me to take 30-minute breaks so I didn't get sunburned. And we went behind, I think it was Food Fest, and got a bunch of wood, anything to build a little shack. And we pulled up to the spot where we were going to build our jumps, and I started taking the wood out one by one, and Aaron was like, hold up, I got a better idea. Gets in his truck, drives forward, puts it in reverse, slams on the gas, hits the brake, and all the wood just comes right out of the bed of the truck. It stayed in the same pile, bam, right on the sidewalk. It was so cool. And thank you for letting me go.
Thank you. We'll have a time of open mic after the service part of it here. And so, Andre, did you want to come up and say a few words, Andre? All right.
Man, I met Aaron back, I think it was 91 or 92. I met him at the BMX track. He had already been racing and he was already super good. He was just someone I looked up to. And we, became friends, and after friends we became family. Aaron was one of the strongest dudes I've ever met. He'd give you the shirt off his back in a heartbeat. We ended up finally getting our parents to agree to let us spend the night. And he came to my house, and we had skateboards, and we weren't supposed to go off the street. We ended up going 2 miles to the movie theater that was like 9 o'clock. As soon as we came back, my mom was outside waiting with the phone. Made him call his mom and pick him back up. That was the last time we ever got to go to spend the night. But it was cool just to meet someone that we loved the same thing and shared the same passion of just riding BMX. And it's funny, we ended up going to Japan, and we didn't really have a chaperone. So we were able to do what we wanted. So we ended up we had a room, little refrigerator, and we opened it, and it was every little bottle of alcohol and soda. So we grabbed it, and as soon as you grabbed it, something popped out the back where you couldn't put it in, and it charged the room. We said, fuck it, we'll take it all. And we did, and then we ended up getting on a train. We wanted to go somewhere, probably somewhere where we weren't supposed to go, and it took us 2 hours past where we wanted to go. We were asking people, no one spoke English, little Japanese guys. So, and the whole deal, I was scared, and the whole time Aaron told me, hey, don't worry about it, I got you. And that's how it's always been from then until now. He's always had your back, loved you, and would do anything for anyone. But, that's something to say. Cody, you've been around from Cold Canyon days.
Yeah, dude, it's kind of the same shit. I was always the younger dude, and Andre, and Runkle, Aaron, they were kind of the dudes above me. And I remember moving from Orange County to Riverside, and I had built some trails in my backyard. Dude, I thought I had the sickest trails in Riverside, and Aaron rolls up in his Ranger, and he's like, "I'll boost all this shit, no problem." And that day it happened to be like windy, and Aaron had hit like a 3, smashed his head, had to go to the hospital, like got ambulanced out of there. And some time had passed by in between then, and time progressed. And I remember Zipcoy had put the trails in his backyard, and Aaron's like, "Dude, let's go ride these." And I was like, "Dude, last time I saw you, fucking." We were wrecked off of these trails, and it was just always on to the next with Aaron. No matter what it was, what time and the age, Aaron always went from like one team to the next factory team. He was always progressing, which was the sickest thing about it. But on top of that, like no matter how big Aaron got with the BMX, he always brought the dude behind him with him, and that was the most respectful part about him. And I always remember Aaron for pushing the envelope and just being the top dog, even when he was like 13 years old, not being able to stand up in the gate, but backflipping the pro section. So it's always going to be dude we're going to miss, and most respect to Aaron, dude.
Thank you guys so much. So to conclude our time of sharing, I want to invite good family friend Eric Greer to come up and say a few words. And Eric's also a former pastor, so he has some experiences with Aaron as well.